But just to give you an idea of what tanking can do, look at this. I mean, they were solid bricks in there. I'm Tim, welcome to the Restoration Couple, and welcome back to the craft room project. We're down in the cellar at Joe's sister's place, and first job is to give it a deep clean, scrub down the walls. We've got a wire brush, a few other brushes and brooms and stuff, and we can just clear out, and then we can get this place back to a nice clean canvas to start our project. So although that bowl doesn't look it, the water is actually running pretty clear by the end of it. So I'm not going to drain the whole system, but I've probably drained most of the bottom of that radiator off, so the worst of it should be out. It's better, but it's not. I reckon it's probably the valves which are at fault. So I think the fault is the TRV, because it's just, I mean, it should be coming out now. It's still connected to the system, so this joint here is leaking a bit now, so it needs a new valve anyway. I'm glad we took it off, because the bracket over that side wasn't even fixed to the wall. The old bitumen tanking is kind of melted behind the radiator. And 1.4 megabytes. It probably took more than that for me to say those words on this video. Nice. So what was going to be a fairly straightforward clean and paint is now a bit of a plumbing exercise. Hooray! You've got to love old houses. I made the executive decision that we'll lose the whole radiator. It's taking up pretty much the whole of this wall anyway, and it's just a bit of a mess. I would need to go and get the valves, and the old pipe work is so painted up with gloss, it would take loads of cleaning to get a clean connection. And I think really that we can get the same performance out of a little freestanding oil-filled radiator, which can be plugged in over on the side there, which will free up this whole wall, and just it will give it a much tidier look. So we'll literally just terminate them there and there with the pipe work, so all that can be boxed in, and then the whole of that wall then will be free and clean, and it's going to help, because that old radiator has seen better days. So it's going to be an unscheduled trip to a builder's merchant or plumber's merchant somewhere to get those bits, and I'll probably end up having to buy a hacksaw of some sort as well, unless I can find one here, and then we'll get that done, and then we can clean up again and get painting. You're about to witness not one of my best moments. I'd isolated and shut off all the individual radiators in the house, but I simply had no hose pipe or large enough bucket or vessel to drain the rest of the pipework. There was fairly short runs, but it was still obviously full and under pressure, so I made the decision that I just needed to do a super quick cut as fast as I could, except that there'd be water everywhere, and bung these push fit stop ends on there. You will now be able to witness how that went. Not the way to do it. Now watching this back, I'm pretty disgusted at myself, but it's all about full disclosure, and you can see sometimes that I make shortcuts too. Cutting this way, you obviously can't deburr the pipe Unfortunately, this hacksaw blade was new and it left a pretty clean cut. I'd already taken off the paint around the cut, so these stop ends push fits were fine and they sealed correctly. All of this will be cut out in the future with additional plumbing works, so as long as they hold for the next few months or year or so, then that's fine with me. I only did that stupid approach because this is a cellar. Everything's out of here and there's nothing to damage, albeit I've got to dry down before I paint now. Of course, if we had the carpet in here, or if you were in any other room in the house, it would be a whole different story and you would need to drain everything down. But you know, I was working on my own, limited tools, limited hose. I just had to go for it. This is going to be a pretty nasty phase, I think. So I'm going to just do it on the GoPro and clear that camera out of here. There's quite a lot of plant growth on the wall going out to the window. Load of flaky paint, potentially a bit of mould and stuff. So we're going to kind of give it a really good deep clean. So I'm going to get on with that job and I'll meet you the other side. Okay, we're getting there with the prep. I've gone around and masked off the electrical stuff and given it a final wipe down on here. When you tank anything, you lead to the buildup of water behind it. And I think from looking around, it looks like it's kind of built up in particular areas and actually broken through. There's almost like a blistering. But just to give you an idea of what tanking can do, look at this. I mean, they were solid bricks in there, but due to the fact that everything's been trapped in there, these rock solid sort of bricks have turned to damp powder. So structurally, tanking is not particularly clever. It's certainly this sort of tanking where you're really chemically trapping it in there. Look at that. I mean, like, literally, this is a 200-year-old brick where if it had been left exposed to the air, it would be nice and dry and hard. And it's just powder. The other thing is, if we did clear out all this tanking and go back to the brickwork and scrub it all back to clean, it would still take months to dry out enough to be then converted. You'd have to be pretty patient if you went that route. Long term, it is the best route. Out here, I'm going to leave quite rustic. It's going to be outside of that external window anyway. So I think we'll make a feature of the fact that this is all weathered and old. You'll have to trust me on that one. You can see our air brake up here is not particularly good, bearing in mind that it's been bricked up on the outside. What isn't bad though is this prism that's been built over here. Although the glass is relatively modern, the way it's been done is quite nice, just with a, can't really tell from down here, but timbers and then all the lead work dressed over the top. This is the charging cable for the electric car point at the bottom of the garden. Now those bars have gone, which weren't original. I thought they were going to be solid iron bars. They were wardrobe hangers. So I can now clip this much higher up out of the way when we fit the window. I'm going to get geared up for the sprayer, get all the paint mixed up, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, it's getting late, that's where I'm going to leave it. Managed to get one coat done with the sprayer in the main room, and then I've just painted the stairwell as well, as you saw. So it's just going to take a lot longer than I thought to dry, bearing in mind it's a lot colder down here, and there's quite a bit of moisture in the air from all the water on the floor and from all the paint. So I've done as much as I can today. We'll pick up this next time, and I've got to bring up all the plywood as well. We'll get the flooring laid, and then we'll make a start on all the cabinets and shelves. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. You can subscribe down below, and remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.